Hello, everyone. This is Ron Turner at Frontrunner 2020, and welcome. Thank you for joining the inaugural program of Frontrunner 2020. What is Frontrunner 2020? This is something new, and again, thanks to everybody for being here. I see friends on the line that are logged in. I really appreciate your support, and this is something that I'm really committed to. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, kind of delaying Josh getting started, but the general idea is for candidates at every stage, from having that aspiration to serve all the way up to winning an election, and focused on bringing best practices from the business community and so on. So it's not just a campaign management thing that's out there already, but the development, the branding, bringing in expertise outside of politics, and oh yeah, we'll do the the basic politics stuff too. Why don't you go ahead and take over, Josh?
Sure. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. My name is Josh fr2.001, and I'm the Managing Director of the New Media Division of Eagle & Wheeler, which is a full-service print, mail, communications design, and digital communication shop in Denton, Texas. And I thank everybody for taking the time on a Thursday night to be here with us. And thanks very much, Ron, for inviting me to be on the inaugural episode of Frontrunner 2020. That's pretty exciting. What we're going to talk about tonight is probably something that a lot of you have heard quite a bit about. And the social media stuff has obviously reached an incredibly pervasive level over the last couple of years, and rightly so. The numbers from Pew Research show that in February of this year, 49% of American adults logged into Facebook, and a couple of months later, over 50% of American adults logged into Facebook, and they've almost got 1 billion users, and most of them aren't in the United States, and your grandmother is texting you, and your grandfather is probably watching or maybe even posting videos to Facebook. So obviously a combination of new tech and better methods of communication have changed how we all not only use those devices and communicate with each other, but also interact with the world around us, the places we go, the things we do, and what's more important, the stuff that we like.
Okay, so thanks, Josh, for the intro. And that kind of reminds me, I'm a little bit older than you are, so I kind of remember the dark ages when there were master networking people who kept all of this stuff in their head. And so you would go to some event of, telecom executives, and there are some people who would know, well, hey, Ron, you should meet so-and-so, whatever, let me email his contact information to you, let me call you on his behalf. But understand that you've got kind of different tools now that you want to recommend to everybody. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The main tools that I happen to think that every nonprofit or political campaign or cause-based activity should use are Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And the reason that you should use these, I guess the why of using these platforms for engagement is precisely because they are so pervasive and because they are very easy to use, and all of them in their own way, even though they are culturally different, make it very easy for brands and campaigns and organizations and people to connect with people that are of a like mind, to connect with people that are interested in whatever your cause is. For those of you that aren't familiar, and I'm sure that you all use at least 2 of these, if not 3 of them, Facebook is the sort of very complicated, highly social network where people can post pictures and communicate with their friends. And Facebook, we say around our office, we say that Facebook has a memory. People don't like to get spammed on Facebook. People don't normally post a bunch of times a day on Facebook like they do on Twitter, which is actually sort of the fire hose stream of consciousness lizard brain version of the social media platforms. On Facebook, you can play games, and you can interact with brands, and you can share pictures, and you can share content among your friends. On Twitter, you can say something in 140 characters and that's it. So the cultural nature of Twitter is very distinct from that of Facebook. So people tweet a lot more throughout the day, and if you posted 100 times a day on Facebook as a brand, no one would follow you and no one would like you. If you tweeted 100 times a day, they'd give you a prize and probably make a statue for you if you did it for long enough. What we see on the screen here is the Facebook fan page, and that's page with a capital P for FrontRunner 2020. And this is different from your Facebook personal profile. This is actually what a brand would use to interact with people and fans and people that are interested in what that brand is up to. The third version, the third platform that we're going to talk about is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is essentially Facebook for professionals. It started off very heavily for job seekers, but they realized that they could also do a nice service for brands and companies. So they've sort of remade themselves in the last year, and now companies are given a lot of tools, and professionals that are happy with where they are and they're not looking for a job are given plenty of tools to increase and grow their professional network so they can get more business. The nice thing about LinkedIn is that people know what it's for. It's the 9th most visited website in the United States, and it is heavily patronized by people that are aggressively looking to make new professional connections. Facebook is important to a campaign because it lets you tell a long arc narrative. Twitter is important to a campaign because it lets people know what's going on even a minute-to-minute basis if you're at a live event. LinkedIn is important for a campaign because it's a nice way to put on display the bona fides and the background and the professional networks of all of the people that are connected to your cause or are connected to your campaign. I would also make the argument that LinkedIn is very important for campaigns, especially for people that are thinking about running for office in the future, because the larger your professional network is, the more you're going to grow your personal brand. And growing your personal brand is important, especially if you want to spearhead an organization or you want to go out and be a real advocate for a campaign or a cause, because the bigger your professional network and the better your reputation is in the community that you want to travel, the easier it's going to be for you to do things.
You know, Josh, I think that's really interesting that you name LinkedIn, because most people do think about Facebook and Twitter. That gets all the buzz, whereas LinkedIn had their IPO here recently. And, in my professional activities beyond politics, I use it quite a bit. And so I was surprised, in some of our local elections this year, I went to LinkedIn to sort of validate the background of people that were running for office, because a lot of times those who are first-time candidates, you can't look at a long political resume, but I wanted to look at their professional credentials, and I was surprised because most of the candidates that were important to me obviously weren't beneficiaries of your advice, and their LinkedIn pages, if they had them at all, were really out of date and looked bad. So, I just want to kind of echo what you're saying for everybody and say, yeah, you really should be in LinkedIn and pay attention to your profile and your activity there.
And when someone calls me for fundraising help, when they call me and they want money, if it's a new candidate that I don't know, the first thing I do is look at their LinkedIn page. So now we got a little bit of homework for you. If you don't have a fan page for your organization, or even if you've never made one before, maybe just make one for yourself or your business. If you don't have a Twitter account, get one, try it, start out looking for things that interest you or people that you want to connect to. I had an international business consultant in my office today for a training, and he said, well, I'm not interested in anything that's on Twitter. And I said, well, do you like food and wine? And he said, oh, yeah, I do. So I clicked that category in the walk me through setting up my Twitter account stuff that they have now. And the first account it suggested was Anthony Bourdain from No Reservations. And he said, oh, man, I love that guy. I watch his show all the time. And now he's off and running on Twitter. So the best part about these is that if you can find a reason to use it just for things that you like and you're not thinking overly strategically or in an overtly business sense. It helps you get the lay of the land and learn the mechanics of the platform just because you're looking at stuff that you like and you're learning about things that you want to learn about.
Yeah. And Josh, let me just kind of reinforce that and emphasize one point, building on what you said about the difference between a Facebook fan page and a personal page. Most people are comfortable using Facebook socially, but anyone who has ambitions, either professional or in politics, should go ahead and get that Facebook fan page set up too. Get your name reserved and start experiencing that. Same thing about Twitter, same thing about LinkedIn profile. What you find, Frontrunner 2020 is all about branding, and you want to stake your claim, get your brand there, get the name out there. So that's what I want to emphasize on all of these. And so we're going to have, with each category here, action items for you. So make some notes, because this isn't just strategy, this is action.
Okay, so moving on, there's one very important why for using social media platforms and establishing good properties for your brand, whether it's an organization or a campaign, and that is SEO for your website. And this is a relatively new development in the last year. Major search engines have cut a deal with social platforms in that now all social content is crawled by all major search engines. So if you've got a campaign website and that's all you've got, then you have to hope that your SEO is really good, which it can be. It's not a secret. It's not the terrible alchemy of, oh, how do I do SEO for a website, and I've got to go get certified or hire somebody that knows how to do all this crazy black hat stuff. It's pretty easy. If your website is about what your website is actually about, then people will be able to find you in good search results. But let's say you've got a website that's relatively well formatted and the SEO is pretty good. If you have a Twitter account that's vibrant and dynamic and has content about what your website is about, and it links to your website, that is going to help your organic search results for your website. And your Twitter account is also going to show up in search results that are relevant to what it is that you do. Same goes for a Facebook page. Having a well-optimized Facebook page, which again really only means that your Facebook page is about what your website is about and they point at each other, then that's going to increase your search results as well, because the way search engines work is about relevance, and they have secret algorithms and they have secret formulas, but the basic secret, I have a friend that works as Google specifying in political campaigns, and I asked him, what's the big secret, a couple of years ago, and he said, make your website about what you actually think your website is about, and you'll perform fine. And that has been more true about every project I've worked on since then, and I quit worrying about secret formulas and magic ways to win. Just your stuff should be about what it's about. Again, same thing with the LinkedIn page. One of the things that Google uses to determine page rank and to determine search engine results is how many inbound links it had.
I'm feeling like people ought to have a permanent website, not just, oh, I'm running for office now, launch a website real quick and then shut it down. But in addition to, the Facebook, the Twitter, and everything, that there should be a website that can keep going. And I guess I think of that as being a good presence.
Well, yeah, and there's no reason to have to start all over again every 18 months. Or if all of your properties work together as a system, then people that are actually looking for you are going to find you. And all that boils down to is having a good communications plan and knowing what you're doing across all of your social properties. The homework for this category is that we think that it's worth it, especially if you've never done this before, to go out and register a domain name.